Hello chickies, welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I'm Hannah and today we are reviewing my January reading. However, I didn't do great, so it's very short. The majority of this list is manga and manhwa, so buckle in for this short little wrap up. So here's the thing, I was a little busy, a little exhausted, a lot exhausted, even bigger exhausted, and my brain could not focus on reading for the life of it. So we only have some manga and manhwa in physical form. I also read one other book, but that's it. So we just get a nice, sweet and short little wrap up this month. So I'm going to say we read 6 books. But one was a 3-in-1. 3 different volumes of the one manga. So, welcome to my manga readers, really, because this is pretty much manga manhwa review. We're going to start off with Father, I Don't Want This Marriage, Volume 3. And the original is by Heesu, and the art is by Roal, and it's adapted by Yuri. So, in this we are following Juvelian, who is a real-world person who possesses Juvelian, but she knows that in the future her character is accused of poisoning the princess, and then, while she's imprisoned, her father gives her this knife and says, do what you will with this. And she may think that he means she should die. And when the crown prince comes along and he is scary and murderous, she decides to do just that. Very tragic end. And so she's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to break up with this random guy who is the whole jealousy and why she's accused of poisoning the princess. And I'm going to find a way to survive. However, things may not be as she thinks they are. In fact, let's just our father here. He may be a doting father. He just can't show it because he works for the evil emperor. So in this one, Juvelian is announcing that she is dating her father's protege. The father is a mentor to a young man who Juvelian is like, you can help me out by fake dating me. Now this leads to a few misunderstandings between the father and his protege. Juvelian doesn't know the full truth of who this young man is, and the father is very concerned, but it's all very amusing. So they're clashing. Juvelian's like, father, why are you so attached to me all of a sudden when he's always been a sweetheart? And there's just a lot going on. A lot. In this one, she's having tea parties with some ladies, trying to avoid her ex, then fake dating, the young lad who is named Max. And then we have the father who's trying to figure out why the heck Max is trying to date his daughter. And then we also get a flashback to the past with Legis and Juvelian. That moment right there, and it is so sad but heartwarming, so cute. So of course I gave it 5 stars because the art is very unique. Wait, let me find one that's not very spoilery. There's a page of the artwork. Very great. I love it so much, and the story is funny but then dark at times, but done in a lovable fashion, and that's why I really enjoy it. This volume covers episodes 32 to 48 in the online manhwa. Can't wait to read more. I currently have 2 more volumes of this one, so we're slowly making our way through it. I love it. Next up, we have Skip Beat by Yoshiki Nakamura, and this is volumes 22 to 24 of the manga. And this is a shoujo contemporary manga. And in this we are following Kyoko, who joins the showbiz in order to get revenge on her childhood friend who betrays her, and she joins the acting side of showbiz. And along the way she meets Shiruya Ren because they're in the same company. And they have a bit of an antagonistic moment at the beginning because Ren wants people to take acting seriously, and Kyoko is joining for revenge. And that is against Ren's particular morals. But he soon discovers that she's actually a natural actress and she begins to love acting. In the company, she actually joins the Love Me section because of the betrayal and the previous troubles in her family life. She doesn't believe in love anymore. She technically does, but not romantic, definitely not. She gets very standoffish, angry whenever love is mentioned, and the president of the company is like, well, you can't act if you want love or no love. And so she's in the Love Me section until she learns how to love again, and she's like, it's not gonna happen, but at least this gives her a chance to debut as an actress, and so she's been doing little roles, and so she's been slowly building her repertoire as an actress. In volumes 22 and 23 in this, we are following the end of the Natsu arc, which is Kyoko finds a new role as a bully. It's a bully role, and the director just wants her to act as Mio, who is a previous role of hers. And she's like, well, no, Natsu is a new character. I want to make something new. And so she employs Ren to help her create Natsu accurately, and it's a very cool reveal of her Natsu. But just as she doesn't want to be typecast just as a Mio character for the rest of her career, a co-star may have struggled with that exact same problem, and now for some reason she has targeted Kyoko, and she may be quite violent about it in actual fact. And then in volume 24 is the Valentine's Day arc, or the beginning of, and in it we unfortunately run into Beagle, and Beagle is the childhood friend who betrayed Kyoko. It's his rival. So Sho is the childhood friend, Beagle is this other guy who is terrible and should be in jail, but he's not, and so he unfortunately has some blackmail against Kyoko, and so Kyoko must do something in order to fix this scenario. Unfortunately, Sho and Ren both witness something, a part of the plan, and they get a little jealous, and Kyoko unfortunately misread Ren's birth date as well, so she's kind of misses it and she feels horrible about it. Anyway, so there's a whole heap of stuff going on, and Ren is getting very, very jealous because it's a Valentine's Day and he has yet to receive any chocolates from his crush. And meanwhile, his crush has little fleas hanging around. So skip beat. Oh, they're all 5 stars. I loved it. It's so lighthearted and so sweet. And so interesting with all the different acting roles as well. So there we go. Next up, we have Away with the Penguins by Hazel Pryor. I did have the book, but it's gone back to the library. So we must continue without the book in hand, but I'll have a picture up and the details as always. In Away with the Penguins, we are following Veronica McCready, and she's an older woman, and she's a grandma, which she discovers she's a grandma near the very beginning of the book. And she likes watching documentaries. She's actually got a hard past, but you don't know what happened in the past. We just get hints through this collection of diary entries. However, one day she's watching a documentary, and instead of the usual topic, it is on the penguins of the Antarctica. And so, slowly but surely, she decides she's going to go to the Antarctica and see the penguins. Even though all the scientists at the place are like, please, Veronica, please, Mrs. McCready, don't come. But she ends up going. But before she goes, she actually discovers that she has a grandson, and so she meets him, and they don't exactly have the best first impression. So Patrick is the grandson, and he's kind of in a tough spot when she comes to visit and doesn't give the best first impression, and she thinks, oh, he's just after my money now, and he's not really. And so you get Veronica's and Patrick's point of view, and so we're off with the scientists with Veronica. And then the grandson, Patrick, reads the diaries and discovers what happened in the past with Veronica. It is a contemporary adult fiction. Now, this book does have content with drugs and drug use, as well as a teen pregnancy, and then other subjects to do with that teen pregnancy, and then, grief in that as well. But then it also has penguins and a penguin colony, and it does have a few preachy moments with the scientists and conservation, which I didn't mind the conservation sort of message, but it was written in a kind of preachy manner. I would have rather it been more natural conversation-ish with the scientists, but that's just potato. It was only little bits. So overall, I did enjoy the book. There were a couple of bits, yeah, that were a bit slow or whatever, but otherwise, it was an enjoyable little contemporary fiction, and I rated it 4 stars. I mean, I do love penguins, so that probably helped with the enjoyability of the book. But I also did like, yeah, sort of the backstory with the diary entries as well. Then finally we have Yona of the Dawn, Volume 32 by Mizuho Kusanagi. In this, we are following a princess, Yona, after her father is killed and murdered, and she has to grow up from her naive sort of princessy life into the reality of her kingdom, and she runs away with Huck, who is her bodyguard, and together they track down these dragons. Well, they're human dragons. They've got some talents from some dragons they've been gifted with, and there's the whole Fire King, and the dragons are connected, and she's got the same red hair as this former Fire King. However, in it we have the throne, of course, usurped by someone who betrayed Yona, and currently they are all gathered in the capital, and it's not going great. Huck is separated from the crew. The dragons are all being used for their dragony powers, and Yona is a political prisoner, pretty much. And she just discovered something that means they will not let her go, and they will not let her meet with the dragons. Part of Yona's agreement with them was that she would be able to meet everyone. Unfortunately, they are not adhering to this rule, and so now we're all in stress zone, but Huck is over there working his way from the bottom to the top of the army to try and get back to Yona's side, and it is sweet. And I love Huck in this. He's such a great male lead. He is discovering a few things along the way as well. A few political revelations have come to Huck, and he realizes that Yona also knew some of them, but it's not in a way that he's like, oh, she betrayed me. It's more, oh, she's been keeping this to herself. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that, and I think there's 40-something volumes till the end of the series, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty, stressful time. There was a reveal, which I'm not sure how I felt about the reveal. I wouldn't say I'm surprised by it. I did see it coming, but at the same time, I don't know. I was like, oh. I know a lot of other people were also like, oh, we're going this route. But I understand that we're coming to the end of the series, and I didn't know quite how the author was going to do it, but I'm not surprised. But it's also not my story. So whatever the author chooses to do with it, I will still enjoy and love the characters. But yeah, I was sort of like, I saw it coming, sort of thing. So yeah, that was Yona of the Dawn, a 4.5 stars. And I look forward to continuing my journey towards the end. Woo. So that's a wrap. As I said, I didn't read that much, and it was pretty much all manga and manhwa. But coming up to my own debut novel and just struggling with chronic illness and the heat in Australia, just the other day it got up to 48 degrees Celsius. And it's been days of that. So I can now acknowledge that it has been a hot spell. When it's only in the 40s for one day, I'm like, it's not a hot spell. But now I acknowledge it's been hot. So heat exacerbates my chronic illness. My chronic illness exacerbates the fact that I just cannot read because my brain is not functioning. And I need my brain for the other list of things I need to do before March. Well, even before February. So that's a lot happening. And that's fine. We're not going to read that many books every single month. And since we are coming into my debut season, it's just going to be the way it's going to be. And I'm going to try not to beat myself up about it. It's just a number of books. Nobody's sitting there forcing me to read. Anyway, if you love mangas, which pretty much it's all been manga. So if you love mangas, comment below your favourite manga. And if not, comment below your favourite book for the month. And until next time, peace.
T26